If you're watching later or you're in another time zone, and welcome. I am Reverend Jerry Troyer, and this is Ohm Center for Spiritual Living, and it is so great to be back with you this morning and to see all of your wonderful faces again in this room or on Zoom, or if you're watching later. We're so glad you're here. Sylvia, good morning.
Good morning, Reverend Jerry. It's so nice to have you back.
Thank you. It is great to be back.
And you're such a world traveler.
I am, and I have stories to tell.
I can hardly wait. Will you please take us on tour with you?
Yeah, I would be thrilled. So we have an opening song.
We do have an opening song, and maybe we can even use it on the tour, huh?
On the what?
On the tour, huh?
Oh,
On the tour,
sure.
eh?
They might kick us off the airplane, but we can try.
I say we'll stop playing if you let us go for free. Okay. So, well, I think everybody's kind of laughing at the fact that we play well together.
We do play well together.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, and if you want to play with us, stand up if you can. If you want to.
If you're comfortable.
Just get comfortable or whatever. And we're going to do the opening song, and oh my goodness, the lyrics magically appeared. I'd like to invite some of my my friends. We've got Victoria. Yay. And we've got Lauren Grace.
Hello.
This is Lauren. She's our guest today for music. Oh my God, you're going to love it. So they're going to help me. They offered to help me because they said, you need help on this. I said, okay. Ready? We're going to sing pretty soon. Here's that little intro, get you in the mood. I'm in the right place at the right time. I am just where I'm supposed to be. I'm in the right place at the right time. I am just where I'm supposed to be. Oh, my soul is welcome here. Oh, my soul is welcome here. I am getting the message loud and clear. My soul is welcome here. You sound good. You sound good.
We figured that out.
We're gonna go on tour together. I'm in the right place at the right time. I am just where I'm supposed to be. I'm in the right place at the right time. I'm just where I'm supposed to be. Oh, my soul is welcome here. Oh, my soul is welcome here. I am getting the message loud and clear. My soul is welcome here. Again, I am getting the message loud and clear. My soul is welcome here. Big finish. Ready? My soul is welcome here. Ha ha. My soul is welcome here. My soul is welcome here. Hey, my soul is welcome. Let's get gospel here. My soul is welcome here. Hey, hey. My soul is welcome here. My soul is welcome here. My soul is welcome here.
Everybody.
All right. I invite you to get comfortable where you are. Take a deep breath if you'd like. And our beloved Mary Hard is our practitioner this morning, so she will do our opening reading and then our meditation. Good morning.
Good morning. If I can find the reading. And just a small correction, Reverend Jerry. I've given up the hard part, and I'm going with my maiden name, Mary Lawrence, now.
Thank you for that clarification.
Yeah. Okay. So I just invite you to take these words into silent contemplation, just going into the cave of the heart. Just remembering that imperfections are what make life unique. Embrace them and find your own path and find joy in the journey. And so, in this moment, right here, right now, I just turn my awareness to the presence of the divine, knowing that Spirit is ever present, always and in all ways. Knowing that Spirit is in this very room, living itself in, through, and as my life, as the lives of each individual here today, and as the life of this collective community known as OM, Center for Spiritual Living. I just know that life is expressing itself in all ways, through all things, knowing that each of us is perfectly imperfect, that this life is perfectly imperfect, that things are all just unfolding and flowing in divine right order. Even in those moments where we struggle to understand, I just know that Spirit is in the midst of that questioning, that sadness or grief or sorrow, just as Spirit is in the midst of the joy and the expansion and the love in all of our experiences. And so I know that as we come together today as this spiritual community, we just have this high energy and this high vibration, knowing that we are expressing that divine life as each of us and as the community of Om. And I know that this time together is sacred and holy time, that we stand on holy ground, lifting each other up, supporting one another, as we each move into the next greatest version of the grandest vision ever we held for ourselves and our lives and for life in general. And I'm just so grateful for our musicians here today, and for the technology and the greeters and the hospitality and the coordination, and for Reverend Jerry, because I know that his message just flows through him as his unique expression of the divine. And I'm so grateful to be here on this day, in this moment in time. Somebody once said, "May you live in interesting times," and don't we now? And I'm just so grateful for all of it. I'm grateful to be in the midst. I'm grateful to be stepping out and doing new things, and each one of us in our own way is doing that, expressing more and more and more of life. So it is from this place of gratitude that I just bless this time together. I declare it good. I just allow it to unfold in perfect divine right order, because I know Spirit is right here, right now, moving in, through, and as this entire service. And I know that we take the lessons and the energy and everything that we gain from being here today. I know we take it out into the next activities of our lives, whether it's work or home or family or pets or whatever it is we're doing in the days, that moments and hours and days ahead. I just know that we are each blessed from this time. So I just allow it to unfold, declaring it good, calling it forth into being, saying, "Let it be done." And so it is. And let's have some music.
Good morning. My name is Lauren Grace, and I'm so grateful to be here at the Om Center for Spiritual Living. And you may be wondering, what on earth are these things I'm holding? I know it. So this is a Shruti box, and it holds a drone. And this is a rain stick. And how I experience a rain stick is it really calms my nervous system. So if you can just allow yourself to receive the sound for just a few moments and just breathing into your body. I'm going to be sharing a chant with you. So I'm going to teach it to you slowly, and then you can sing along, or you can just allow yourself to receive the song, or you can om through it. I mean, whatever works for you, knowing that your voice is a healing modality for your body. As our bodies are made up mostly of water, the sound, the tone, the harmony harmonizes our bodies. So that's what I think anyway. So we're going to start simply by omming together with this drone. So I can begin. You can just link in with me, and you can also harmonize. If you find harmonies, just go with it. Allow yourself. Om. Deep breath. Om. Let's do a few more of those. One more. And then repeating after me each line. I am opening to the mystery. Try that. I am opening to the mystery. Next line. Allowing creativity. Allowing creativity. Listening. To flow. To flow. Next line. And there is brave magic in my heart. And there is brave magic in my heart. Last line. And I will keep tending to that spark. And I will keep tending to that spark. Let's try it from the top and just gradually getting it. I am opening to the mystery, allowing creativity to flow. And there is brave magic. And there is brave magic in my heart. And I will keep tending to the spark. And I will keep tending to that spark. Let's keep going now. I am opening to the mystery, allowing creativity to flow. And there is brave magic in my heart, and I will keep tending to that spark. One more time all the way through. I am opening to the mystery, allowing creativity to flow. And there is brave magic in my heart, and I will keep tending to that spark. Let's Om 3 times together to close it. Om. 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 And just noticing how your body feels now. Thank you.
Lauren, that was awesome. Thank you. Thank you so much. Wow. Brave magic. I love the concept of that. That might be a Sunday talk. Love that. Thank you so much. So, good morning again to all of you in this very room and those of you on Zoom, or good afternoon or good evening if you're watching later, and welcome. I'm so glad to be back with you this morning. As you may know, our theme for the month of July is Practice Makes Imperfect. And my topic for this morning is leaning into imperfection. So I'm so glad you're with me this morning. Always keeping in mind that whenever I am talking to you, I am really talking to myself. So I am so grateful to see all of you and to have you here with me as I talk to myself. So if you've been in this teaching that we call New Thought or Religious Science or Science of Mind or Unity or Divine Science or any of those for a while, you know that the party line is everything is rainbows, sunshine, and lollipops. Everything is wonderful. Everyone is beautiful. Everything is beautiful. It's a sunny day. There's no clouds, no rain. Everything is just delightful. It's always sunny and 70 degrees, and we hit all the lights green all the time. And that is the truth. But the facts may look very different. And I'll bet in your life you've experienced things that don't look like rainbows, sunshine, and lollipops, teddy bears, unicorns, whatever you want to add to that list. Because as we know, in this experience called life, people don't always behave themselves and do what we want them to do. Sometimes we miss the green light. Sometimes things happen that we weren't expecting, because this life is amazing and wonderful and delightful and joyful and challenging and mysterious and heartbreaking. It's all of that. But how often do we go through an experience and judge this one with the rainbows and sunshine and lollipops and teddy bears as perfect, and this one as imperfect and bad and wrong? And what if we took another look at our perception of the word imperfect and chose to decide that it was perfect in every situation, in every experience, in every oh my God, or as many of you know, my expression is for the love of God. What if every experience was? It was perfect. So we're going to talk about that this morning, so I'm so glad you're with me. Can we be comfortable when we're spiritual beings having this human experience? I don't know about you, but I am charming and sparkling and patient and understanding and compassionate and wonderful. Thank you. I am also, and don't tell anybody, but I am also hateful and surly and cranky and impatient and judgmental and all of those things. And don't tell anybody, but so are you. Because it's who we are. It's just who we are. And ideally, we keep that part kind of under wraps and shine the shiny stuff. But how important it is for us to recognize that I am that. I am that wonderful being, and I am that wonder-full being, as in I wonder why I'm getting so upset about that. Because it's all us. And we're perfect. We're perfect in this moment. So looking back at your life and my life, we come here with a history, and an amazing history, and some of us longer than others, and that's absolutely fine and as it should be. But when we look back on our history, we might have a list of, wow, that was perfect. And the list of, ugh, I can't believe I did that. I can't believe I wasn't paying attention. I can't believe whatever. You know, you remember a few weeks ago, we celebrated Independence Day, the 4th of July, and got away when we as a country determined it was time to get away from the tyranny, and I love this word, the tyranny of the British rule. Yeah, nothing personal. But how often do we need to look at the tyranny that we inflict on ourselves now, days or months or years or centuries or millennia later? You know, I can't believe when I was in 4th grade I did that. Or I can't believe when I was married I did that or didn't do that. Is there an opportunity for us to look back and say, you know, I could reframe this story and recognize that everything that happened needed to happen exactly as it should? So we're talking about that this morning. One of my favorite books, and our book for the month of July, is The Gifts of Imperfection by Brené Brown. And if you have books and like books and don't have this book, I so invite you to consider picking it up, because it's amazing. And she writes about the experience of perfectionism and how we want to look and act and be perfect. And she writes, perfectionism is not the same as striving to be your best. Perfectionism is not about healthy achievement and growth. Perfectionism is the belief that if we live perfect, look perfect, and act perfect, we can minimize or avoid the pain of blame, judgment, and shame. But it's a shield. Perfectionism is a 20-ton shield that we lug around thinking it will protect us, when in fact, it's the thing that really prevents us from taking flight. I come from a place of everything has to look and act and be perfect, and everything is just so, and I need to do this and I need to do more than this, because if I do that and look perfect and act perfect and all the rest of that, then you'll love me. But the problem with that is when we're seeking outside ourselves for someone to love us and approve of us, so very often we miss out on loving and approving of ourselves. And because we know that life is lived from the inside out, so unless and until we get that inside of us, that recognizing that we are the beloved, always have been, there's nothing that can change that. There's nothing we can do or not do that would separate us from the presence of spirit within us. Unless and until we get that, anything we're doing outside ourselves isn't going to matter. It just isn't going to matter. So in this experience that we call life, we sometimes, I don't know about you, but I tend to look at a situation and judge it as good or bad, right or wrong, perfect or imperfect, and then create the story and the judgment and all the rest of that I carry with me. But again, it's all about our perception of the word imperfect. And what if we reframe the story to recognize that it was absolutely perfect, just exactly as it played out, exactly as it happened? That feels so much better than carrying the guilt and shame and nonsense with us. In this book, in The Gifts of Imperfection, she writes, owning our story and loving ourselves through that process is the best thing that we will ever do. So, yeah, I did that. I have to share this. It's just at the top of my mind in the movie Some Like It Hot. Such a great movie. Remember, such a great movie. Tony Curtis says to Jack Lemmon, you can't make an omelet without breaking an egg. There is amazing wisdom there. We should do a field trip over to the Hotel Del. You know, whenever anybody talks about that, it's just such a great place and such a wonderful movie. Boy, am I dating myself on that. That's okay. But it's true that and as we look back in our lives, rather than labeling good and bad and right and wrong, what if that relationship, that the characteristics of that relationship, because relationships don't change because they're in our minds and in our hearts, but what if our time being married it ran its course? So it wasn't supposed to be till death do us part. Or that job that I had for however many years, the joy and the wonder was starting to wane just a little, and it was time for me to move on. So was it bad that I finally, and this is a whole separate Sunday talk, but I got the cosmic 2x4 many years ago. Spirit kept saying, maybe you want to go look at something else. No, I'm good. I'm fine. And then, because sometimes we get that, that in a situation, I'll have to look at that. Yeah, let me get back to you on that, Spirit. And then Spirit says, let me help you along and boot you out of that. But all of that experience was exactly as it should have been. All of that experience was perfect. Because this had to happen, so this could happen, so this could happen. And that feels so much better than beating ourselves up for not doing what we feel like we should have done, or doing something that we shouldn't have done. My favorite word in the English language is should. And who decides how it should be or shouldn't be? We do, but carried on with stories and with judgments and with ideas and suggestions from the people in our lives and society. So this is a little strange, but bear with me. This is an Italian cream cake. And a few of you knew my late husband. He passed away almost 6 years ago. By the time we found Ohm, he wasn't in real good health, and so he wasn't doing what he used to do. But what he used to do is bake cakes from scratch. So Duncan Hines, Betty Crocker never were in my house, because he was also Jerry, and Jerry baked cakes from scratch. And the one that I loved the most is this Italian cream cake. It is pecans, coconut, white cake with cream cheese frosting. Heart attack on a plate. No, just kidding. But very involved. Everybody loved it. If you had it, you remember it was just amazing and so good, and a lot of work, obviously, to get everything together and all of that. And what I don't want to tell stories about the dearly departed, but I will. He didn't want to do it. And he didn't want to do it. And I think it was for a church, the church that we were part of at the time, some sort of church function. And he did it, and he mixed it up, and he put it in the oven. And you're either supposed to use self-rising flour, and he didn't, or you aren't supposed to use self-rising flour, and he did. And it rose. It rose all over the inside of the oven. And I don't know if he said for the love of God or not, but was not happy. But anyway, the most amazing cake. And so the point of the story is, one time I asked him, so he's frosting. Because, of course, you got to let it cool. You got to cool the frosting just a little so that it spreads, but not so much that it's not movable, because it's cream cheese. And so he's got the knife, and he's doing it. And if you've ever baked a cake, you're doing that, and you're moving the frosting, and you're moving the frosting, and you're moving the frosting. And I finally said, so how do you know when it's done? How do you know when it's completely frosted, when it's perfect? And he said, I just know. There's great wisdom there. Because how do we know in our lives that this is good, that this is perfect, this is exactly the way it should be? We just know. Because we have that connection with spirit. We have that inner wisdom that says, yes, that's exactly as it should be. No, turn it and move that pecan out of the way and move some more frosting there. But we just know. There's great wisdom there. So everything looks perfect, but sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes it looks like heartbreak. It looks like grief and loss and all of those things. And I would suggest that that's part of this richness that we call life, is that everything is wonderful, but as we were talking about earlier, people don't always behave themselves. They don't always do what we want them to do. Things don't always turn out the way we expected. And so there's always the opportunity for us to feel those feelings and grieve as we need to, feel the loss, feel the disappointment. It wasn't bad or wrong necessarily, but it's just not what I wanted. But how important it is for us to feel those feelings so that we can move forward. As many of you know, I do a lot of workshops on grief and loss and allowing ourselves to feel what we feel. And I found this quote some time ago from Psychology Today magazine, of all places. Suppressed emotions don't just go away. Instead, they become toxic. They will keep showing up in our lives in some form of dysfunction or unhappiness until you resolve them. Throughout life, feeling your feelings is one of the healthiest and most productive things you can do. Because in New Thought, so often we say, well, everything's in divine order. Everything is as it should be. It's all good. And it is. But that doesn't mean that I'm not grieving, that I'm not angry, that I'm not hurt. I was guest speaking at a center some time ago on this topic, and the song that was sung before my talk was "Don't Worry, Be Happy." And I'm like, what is this? What is this? Yes, and that makes perfect sense, but how important it is for us to allow ourselves to feel that imperfection, feel that disappointment, that anger, that grief, so that we can move forward. One of my favorite authors, Debbie Ford, wrote, "What we can't be with won't let us be." So to be with that, yes, I'm charming and sparkling and positive all the time, but I'm also a human being, and so I get to feel that anger and that loss so that I can move forward. Instead, the opportunity is for us to live wholeheartedly. I have a lot of quotes this morning, but I think you'll like them. So Brene writes about wholehearted living, and she says, wholehearted living is about engaging in our lives from a place of worthiness. It means cultivating the courage, compassion, and connection to wake up in the morning and think, no matter what gets done and how much is left undone, I am enough. Did you do the dishes last night? Did you clean the kitchen before you went to bed? No. If you did, I honor you. If you didn't, I honor you, and welcome to the club. And the good news is they're there. They were there waiting for me this morning. Isn't that nice? The dog didn't do them, so I guess I had to do them. No matter what gets done and how much is left undone, I am enough. It's going to bed at night thinking, yes, I'm imperfect and vulnerable and sometimes afraid, but that doesn't change the truth that I am also brave and worthy of love and belonging. Because you are the beloved. Because I am the beloved. So continue. So those 3 points: courage, speaking honestly and openly about who we are and what we want and don't want. and you've heard me talk about this before, and you will again, and it's a big lesson for me, the ability to say, yes, I want to do that. Let's go do that. And the ability to say, thank you so much for thinking of me, but no. That's not mine to do. I don't know about you, but I have had issues with that, and it's in my process to continue to heal that. But the ability to not worry about what somebody else thinks, but in love and gratitude say no. Asking for help. Can we ask for help? Can we say, I don't know how to do this? Could you help me? Or talk with one of our ministers and practitioners and say, I've just got this stuff here and I don't know what to do with it. Can you help me with this? We have amazing people on staff here. You have amazing people in your lives, and so many that would be honored and thrilled to give us the help that we need, but we need to ask for it. And the ability to say, and Lauren led us through this earlier, to live in this experience of the mystery. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know how all that's going to play out. I don't know how this is going to heal. I don't know what's going to happen, but I'm okay. And I always have been, and I always will be. So courage and then compassion for ourselves and others, and especially for others, but with boundaries and accountability. So I honor you for where you are on this path. I honor you for how far you've come and what you're going through. But again, there's a yes here and there's a no here, and we have to make both of those okay and acceptable. And by the way, compassion for ourselves. So what if we weren't trying to make an omelet and we broke an egg? How long are we beating ourselves up over that experience? Oh, that's a whole nother Sunday talk. But there's that book. It's a little yellow book. I've misplaced the name and the title, but he talks about toddler wisdom, and one of the points of toddler wisdom is, whoopsie, broke that egg, spilled that milk, stepped on the dog, forgot an appointment, whoopsie. Yeah. Versus continuing to beat ourselves up over whatever it was. So compassion for others and for ourselves. And then connection. And I think it's next month that we're going to talk much more about community and spiritual community and the connection that we have with one another in this very room, but also on social media, on texts and phone calls and all the rest of that. But the opportunity to reach out to people and, again, ask for help, but also to just say, hey, I'm thinking about you. And I'm not a stockholder in either organization, but the post office is still out there selling stamps. And how cool is it to get a card in the mail? Not an email, and email's good, and not a text, but text is good, and not a message on Facebook, but Facebook is good. But how cool is it when we go to the mailbox and it's not a bill, it's not an advertisement, it's a note from somebody that says, I was thinking of you and took the time to do that. Yep. It's that connection. It's just the greatest thing. So wholehearted living invites, encourages, and challenges us to show up in the moment, in every moment. Present, releasing what happened earlier this morning, releasing that you might have dumped coffee on yourself, releasing that you forgot to buy orange juice, releasing that whatever it is. Yep, it didn't happen. My morning wasn't as I expected, but here I am. Because again, life is wonderful and exciting and passionate and glorious and perfect. And also painful and difficult and heartbreaking and perfect. in all those situations. Very often it requires resilience. It requires bounce. So bouncing back from whatever that was, recognizing that, wow, that's interesting. How do I bounce back from that? What are my next steps? What do I need to know about this situation? In the book, Brenny talks about resilience, and she writes, the most resilient people who live perfect lives with imperfect experiences and keep moving have these common factors. They are resourceful and have good problem-solving skills. They are more likely to seek help, like we talked about. They hold the belief that they can do something that will help them to manage their feelings and to cope. They have social support available to them, and they are connected with others, such as family or friends or ministers or practitioners or whatever the case might be. So as some of you know, I was in Berlin, Germany. Was it only been 3 weeks? I think 3 weeks ago. Absolutely amazing. And really quickly, and I could talk about this as a whole Sunday talk, but so I'm going by myself to a foreign country across the sea, to a country that doesn't speak any of the language that I speak, because I speak more Spanish than I do German, and I speak about 9 Spanish words, so about 3 German words, and that's it. So got my passport, got everything, but the flight is delayed from here to Munich. So what if I missed the connection in Munich? I didn't. Got to Munich. There's a long line, because once you get into the airport, you still got to go through their passport and ID system to go to your connecting flight. There is a long line, because this was the weekend that they were getting ready to do the football, the European football championships. So there are all these guys in their kilts, and I'm like, well, that's interesting. And then realized, hello, they're coming because the first game was in Munich. They're coming for football. How cool is that? So I'm standing in line and standing in line and standing in line and standing in line, and I'm going to miss my connection. I didn't. Got to where I'm staying. So I didn't bring any euros, so I need a bank machine. What if my ATM card doesn't work? What if the ATM card worked? Right across the street from the bank was a Starbucks. So I'm in this apartment that my friends rented for me, and there's a building and a square and another building. And stretched, and you might, if you're friends with me on Facebook, you might have seen this picture, but stretched across this square are these cables, and on these cables are umbrellas. And the still small voice reminded me of Emma Curtis Hopkins, one of my favorite early New Thought writers, and in her book, Scientific Christian Mental Practice, she writes about umbrellas being a burden in pleasant weather. Okay. So I put my mystical umbrella down and started to stop worrying about all that could go wrong, and counted the times that everything went perfectly, because everything went perfectly. The transportation both ways, the experience with my friends, everything was just perfect. But the point of all this, thank you. The point of all this is that, so my friend Mark was my roommate in college. So I will not tell you how long I have known him, but it's been a while. Hadn't seen him and his partner in about 15 years, so it was great to visit with them. And we were talking about resilience. And he told me about this woman that had done a TED Talk on resilience. Do I have her? No, I guess not. So she talks about her experience and her life and how wonderful it is, and then her experience and her bouncing back from that event. And so Martin, if you would please, Martin's going to play just like a 3-minute introductory piece from her TED Talk.
Life is about opportunities, creating them and embracing them. And for me, that was the Olympic dream. That's what defined me. That was my bliss. As a cross-country skier and member of the Australian ski team headed towards the Winter Olympics, I was on a training bike ride with my fellow teammates. As we made our way up towards the spectacular Blue Mountains west of Sydney, it was the perfect autumn day. Sunshine, the smell of eucalypt, and a dream. Life was good. We'd been on our bikes for around 5.5 hours when we got to the part of the ride that I loved, and that was the hills, because I loved the hills. And I got up off the seat of my bike and I started pumping my legs, and as I sucked in the cold mountain air, I could feel it burning my lungs, and I looked up to see the sun shining in my face. And then everything went black. Where was I? What was happening? My body was consumed by pain. I'd been hit by a speeding utility truck with only 10 minutes to go on the bike ride. I was airlifted from the scene of the accident by a rescue helicopter to a large spinal unit in Sydney. I had extensive and life-threatening injuries. I'd broken my neck and my back in 6 places. I broke 5 ribs on my left side. I broke my right arm. I broke my collarbone. I broke some bones in my feet. My whole right side was ripped open, filled with gravel. My head was cut open across the front, lifted back, exposing the skull underneath. I had head injuries. I had internal injuries. I had massive blood loss. In fact, I lost about 5 litres of blood, which is all someone my size would actually hold. By the time the helicopter arrived at Prince Henry Hospital in Sydney, my blood pressure was 40 over nothing. I was having a really bad day. For over 10 days, I drifted between 2 dimensions. I had an awareness of being in my body, but also being out of my body, somewhere else, watching from above as if it was happening to someone else. Why would I want to go back to a body that was so broken? But this voice kept calling me. Come on, stay with me. No, it's too hard. Come on, this is our opportunity. No, that body is broken. It can no longer serve me. Come on, stay with me. We can do it. We can do it together. I was at a crossroads. I knew if I didn't return to my body, I'd have to leave this world forever. It was the fight of my life. After 10 days, I made the decision to return to my body, and the internal bleeding stopped.
I know. Absolutely amazing. And so she has gone on to, and invite you to look at that whole TED Talk, but it's just amazing. And she made the decision to come back, to stay. Oops, thank you. She made the decision to come back, to stay, and is now all over the world reminding people of their opportunity and this experience of resilience. And I think the title is "A Broken Body is Not a Broken Life." So What do we, when we go through, because again, it's sunshine and rainbows and teddy bears and lollipops, but not always. And so what do we go through that allows us, and when do we allow ourselves to go through, to keep going into whatever the next chapter is in our lives? I want to skip through a couple of things and come to the end here. So this quote, if you watch the TED Talk, this is the at the end of the TED Talk. The philosopher Lao Tzu once said, "When you let go of what you are, you become what you might be." I now know that wasn't until I let go of who I thought I was that I was able to create a completely new life. It wasn't until I let go of the life I thought I should have that I was able to embrace the life that was waiting for me. I now know that my real strength never came from my body, and although my physical capabilities have changed dramatically, who I am is unchanged. The pilot light inside of me was still a light, just as it is in each and every one of us. So with that in mind, join me in the light for just a moment. So in the peace and the quiet of this moment, we allow ourselves to be reminded of the truth of our being, that we are the essence, expression, and experience of spirit. And we offer great gratitude for the opportunity to be back together this morning, to be reminded of the truth of our being, to be reminded that in our lives and our experiences, everything is perfect. Because we are always loved, always nurtured, always divinely guided. And so we always have the opportunity to allow Spirit to lead us, to advise us, to love us. So moving forward today, we choose to do that, to change any stories of resentment or regret or imperfection, and move forward in this knowing that truly all is well. For this teaching, for this beloved spiritual community, for our time together, we give great thanks. And together we say, and so it is.
Just contemplate your navels for a few moments while I set this whole shenanigans up here. You said brave several times in your talk. Okay, just saying. Lead me, love, lead me on. When I'm weary, make me strong. Lead me, love, lead me on. Lead me, love, lead me home. Lead me, love, lead me on. When I'm weary, make me strong. Lead me, love, help me grow. Lead me, love, lead me home. Lead me, love, lead me on. I am ready. you.
Beautiful. Thank you so much. All right. You have an envelope and an index card at your seat or on your seat or in front of your seat. If something came up for you or if you would like prayer support and spiritual guidance from our ministers or practitioners, bless you. I invite you to fill that out on the index card. Also use that envelope if you'd like for your tithe or offering or donation. We'll take just a couple of minutes to finish those up, and then when you're ready, if you'll put it on your heart, we will receive our gifts and tithes and offerings. So as we lovingly receive these tithes and offerings and gifts, we say thank you, Father, Mother, God, for this abundance that's ours to share, recognizing in this law of giving and receiving that as we give, we do receive, and we give great thanks. Together we say, and so it is. All right. Laura and Grace, wonderful music this morning. Thank you so much. Sylvia, wonderful music this morning. Thank you so much.
And wonderful singing.
Yes, absolutely. Mary, thank you for being here and doing what you do. Martin, thank you for being here and doing what you do. Support team and ushers, we couldn't do it without you. Victoria and Emma and anybody else involved in setting up and all the rest of that, thank you all so much. Have a wonderful week. I invite you, as I will, to just be aware of my thoughts about how it should be or how it's imperfect, and just recognize that we can always change our story because it's my story and I can change it. So stand if you would. We will say our affirmation and then sing, Let There Be Peace.
And I think, you know what, Reverend Jerry? You're always such a delight when you come here. And I don't know why I'm speaking like this. It's your fault, Lauren. Anyway, we want to say thank you for being here. Oh, my God, I'm talking like you. All right. But anyway, we love you. Yes? Oh. Yay!
I love you all, too, and thank you so much.
And today is my birthday.
And today is Victoria's birthday, yes. Can we, there we go. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you.
Happy birthday, dear Victoria. Happy birthday to you.
Yay. All right, now join me in our closing affirmation. I am an expression of God, born into the richness and abundance of the indwelling presence. Today, I walk upon my world, consciously creating oneness within and around me. And so it is.
And we're going to sing our peace song. I think I'm back to normal now. Don't make me laugh. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin
begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, the peace that was meant to be. With God as our power, loved ones all are we. Let us walk with each other in perfect harmony. Let peace begin with me. Let this be the moment now, right now, when